So today we're going to dive into a really fascinating story, one that's etched right onto the stages of Japan. And this isn't just about theater. It's really about how a nation's art grows and changes right along with its people. We're going to see it go from these super sacred rituals for the gods all the way to the spectacular entertainment for a brand new, bustling merchant class. And that's a great question, isn't it? I mean, divine gods, elite warriors, puppets, they seem like they're from completely different universes. But as we're about to see, they're actually all threads in this single, incredible tapestry of Japanese classical theater. And what's so cool is that each one tells us something really specific, really unique about the society that brought it to life. All right, so here's our roadmap for this whole thing. First, we'll dig into the ancient, kind of noble roots. Then, we'll see what happens when entertainment explodes for the common folk. After that, we'll put the three big ones side by side for a good comparison. And finally, we'll look at how this amazing legacy is still kicking today. So let's jump right in. Okay, so first up, let's travel way back in time. I'm talking about an era of shoguns, military dictators, and the noble warriors, the samurai. This is the world, the very specific environment that gave birth to Japan's oldest surviving theater form, and it's an art of just profound subtlety and incredible restraint. So before you even had plays, as we think of them, you had rituals. Early Japanese performance, it really started with Shinto ceremonies and these really cool masked dances that came over from the continent with Buddhism. Over time, these morphed into popular stuff like Sarugaku no, which literally translates to monkey music, and you can just imagine, it was a kind of wild, energetic fun. But then, everything changes. In 1192, the shogun, the top military dog, takes power. This kicks off a whole new feudal system, and it's all ruled by the samurai class. Okay, so fast forward to the 14th century. A truly brilliant performer named Kanami gets noticed by the shogun himself. Now, with the court's money and support, he and his son, the legendary Zeami, take all those rustic, rowdy entertainments and just refine them. They polish them into something totally new, no theater. And you have to understand, this was art tailor-made for the tastes of Japan's warrior elite. We're talking about a class that prized things like discipline, loyalty, and a really deep, almost philosophical understanding of life and death. Now, to really get you have to wrap your head around this one core concept. Yugen. This isn't about big, flashy emotions on stage. No. It's deeply influenced by Zen Buddhism, and it's all about a subtle, mysterious kind of beauty. Here's an analogy. Think about the beauty of a single flower. Part of what makes it so beautiful, so profound, is that you know it's not going to last forever. That feeling right there, that's Yugen. And that's exactly the feeling a no performance is trying to create. Something deep, quiet, but incredibly powerful. And get this, a traditional day of no wasn't just watching one play. It was a full-on spiritual journey. You'd start with a play praising the gods. Then you'd move through the intense conflicts of warriors, the deep emotions of women. You'd explore the depths of human suffering, and it would all wrap up by defeating demons or supernatural beings. The whole structure is designed to take the audience from a state of peace, guide them through human struggle and regret, and bring them out the other side to redemption and harmony. It's a lot. So, for centuries, No was the theater of the elite, period. But, history never ever stands still. So now, let's see what happens when a long period of peace completely flips society on its head, and suddenly there's a huge demand for totally new kinds of stories for a totally new audience. All right, so enter the Tokugawa shogunate. This kicks off a long period of stability in Japan, and with no wars to fight, well, what's a samurai to do? Their role in society starts to fade. But at the exact same time, cities are just booming. And this creates a brand new class of super wealthy merchants and artisans. Now these folks, they have money to spend, they have free time, and they're hungry for entertainment that speaks to their lives, not the subtle Zen-inspired world of the old warrior class. And one of the first new art forms to totally capture their imagination was bunraku, the puppet theater. But look, the level of dedication here is just mind-blowing. A puppeteer will spend 10 years, a full decade, just learning how to operate the puppet's feet. Then another 10 years to master the left arm. Think about that. Only after 20 years of training might they finally earn the right to control the head and the right arm and become the lead puppeteer. It's just an incredible commitment. And this quote really nails the incredible teamwork it takes. Picture this.
On stage, you have a single chanter who narrates the entire story, doing the voices for every single character. You've got a shamisen player providing this amazing, dramatic musical score. And then you have the three puppeteers, usually dressed all in black, who have to move in perfect, silent unison to make one wooden puppet seem like it's breathing, like it's truly alive. It is a masterclass in collaboration. Now, right around the same time, another new theater appears, kabuki. And oh man, its origins were famously scandalous. It actually started with all-female troupes, and their performances were so, let's say, provocative, that they got linked with prostitution. This led to women being banned from the stage entirely in 1629. But here's the twist. That ban forced kabuki to completely reinvent itself. Now performers had to rely on pure skill, not seduction, and it transformed into this highly stylized all-male art form that was all about drama and pure spectacle. And you can really see this shift in taste in a performance itself. I mean, if No was a minimalist indie film, kabuki was the summer blockbuster. It was packed with the latest tech. We're talking revolving stages, elevator traps for these amazing surprise reveals. The actors used a special walkway, the hanamichi, that went right out into the audience, breaking that fourth wall. They wore this bold, patterned kumadori makeup to show you exactly who was the hero and who was the villain. And the costumes? Some of them weighed up to 50 pounds. This was big, loud, thrilling entertainment for the masses. So there we have it, 3 totally distinct forms of theater, each born from a different time and for a completely different audience. Let's actually put them side by side now to really nail down what makes each one so unique. And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? It makes the central idea crystal clear. You have No for the shogun and samurai, and its style is a perfect reflection. Masked, minimalist, symbolic, all about that subtle grace. Then, on the other hand, you have bunraku and kabuki, both for the merchants and commoners. One uses these incredibly elaborate puppets, the other uses men in spectacular makeup. But the vibe? It's the same. Both are visually stunning, all about big, dramatic storytelling that just screams with the vibrant, hedonistic energy of their new audience. But that raises a huge question, right? What happens to these very specific art forms when the societies that created them just disappear? Because in the late 19th century, that's exactly what happened. The whole era of the shogun and the samurai came to a crashing halt, and all 3 of these theaters were suddenly facing a very, very uncertain future. Yeah, the fall of the shogunate in 1868 wasn't just a political change. It was an existential crisis for these arts. No, especially, lost its government funding, and it almost completely vanished. It took a massive, dedicated effort after World War II to bring it back from the brink. Kabuki and bunraku were also on shaky ground for a while, until their legacies were finally cemented with the opening of their own dedicated national theaters. This was a huge deal. It transformed them from just commercial entertainment into protected, celebrated national treasures. And look, we're not just talking about preserving some dusty museum piece here. This is a living, breathing tradition. I mean, to this day, the active No repertory has about 240 plays. And what's wild is that over 100 of those were written by that one master, Zeami Motokiyo, almost 600 years ago. That's just incredible staying power. So today, all 3 of them, No, bunraku, and kabuki, are celebrated as national treasures. They're recognized by the whole world as intangible cultural heritage. They tour internationally, captivating audiences everywhere, and really offering this direct, unfiltered window into the history, the art, and the very soul of Japan across these completely different moments in time. And that really leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. Each one of these theater forms is like a perfect little time capsule, right? It reflects the deepest values of the society that made it. The quiet discipline of the samurai, the loud, vibrant passion of the merchants. So when we sit down to watch one of these performances today, are we just watching a play? Or are we actually watching history itself, alive and breathing, right there in front of our eyes?